No sooner have you rung the ornate bell than the face of a lizard woman surfaces from behind a rock up on the ledge before you. Her stare is as sharp as the bolt eyeing you from atop her crossbow.
Stand back and keep your hands off your weapons! Convince me you're no Magister, or draw one last deep breath.
Her eyes go wide with wonder upon your mentioning of a divinity.
No Magister could sense the spirit of the goddess. Only a true sorcerer could, blessed with senses greater than our world's alone. I apologize for this steel-tipped welcome, but lives are at stake. Hold on, I'll let you up.
With one graceful motion, the lizard throws down a tangled mess of vines for you to climb.
Come, ascend to the sanctuary of Amadia. You'll find you're not the only guest here, but the Great Mother provides for all. Be welcome to this sanctuary. Amadia's eye in the storm.
The Red Prince interrupts as you're about to speak.
This woman is a dreamer. I can see the answers spinning in her eyes. Do rest your legs for a bit while I question her. You're too kind.
Red Prince and the Dreamer exchange courteous pleasantries, as if they're finding themselves in a palace hall instead of a death-ridden swamp. She introduces herself as Bahara. To your surprise, they next lie down on the ground in a seemingly warm embrace and fall asleep. What follows, though, is far from peaceful. They claw and thrash as if struggling for dear life, caught in the hold of some hideous nightmare. Then they wake, haggard, exhausted. They speak of a vision, Brahmos, and another red lizard.
Praise the daylight. I am now. There was death in that dream, chasing me like 100 hungry lions. But at least I've new directions. When we escape and find ourselves on the mainland once more, I must search for Brahmos the Wanderer. Then I will finally know the truth, the very secret of my soul.
You are fortunate to have found this place. The hollow marshes swallow life and regurgitate only the dead. It is the laboratory of a lunatic. A place removed from mercy and sanity where mad Brachus Rex would experiment to his dark heart's content. There are ruins in the marshes, stonework vultures that perch above the king's long-buried treasure. But his is not a treasure of gold, ruby, and sapphire. It is a treasure of death, weapons, and vile magic. The nights here are long and lonely, but I often listen to my mistress Gratiana speak of days long gone, the heydays of Brachus Rex. Perhaps she will tell you her tales as well.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we'll be.
He said his name.
You tried your best, Hal. I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
You still with us?
So long as Gareth returns.
You're alive! Wasn't sure you would be. Samadel, this is the one I told you about.
Focus on your breathing, Jules. Slow.
Don't move, Jules. Save your strength. Claude, turn your head if you can hear me. Mateys, let me change your dressing.
The dishevelled lizard eyes you with hope, though her hope is tinged with mistrust.
Han tells me you helped him out of Fort Joy. For that, you have my thanks.
Don't move, Jules. Save your strength.
Can I ask if... Did you happen to meet a man named Gareth on your way here?
Claude, turn your head if you can hear me.
He'll be back, Samadel. I know he will. He has to.
He has to, indeed. We need our leader. And if he doesn't return with help soon, we haven't a hope. You're kind to offer, but you'd best talk to Gareth's squire, Exeter. He'll know where your talents can be most used. Now, Han, let's take a look at your nasty leg injury.
Catch you later, Skipper. It's good you're here.
Claude? Claude? Can you hear me?
She bends to grab a rag, wiping her blood-smeared hands. She looks up and sees you.
If you're looking for healing, sorcerer, well, there's not much I can do.
The woman wrings the blood-stained rag in her hands anxiously.
Magisters aren't known for their mercy. Many of us died. And the ones here will likely follow the same fate, by a slower road. I've done all I can. Their wounds are too great. All I can offer them now is prayer and a cup of water. If you know a way, I'd be beyond grateful. Magic? All I've got is my own two hands and...
She trails off and limply gestures to her paltry makeshift infirmary.
I'm not even a healer. Ours was killed in the attack. I'm just a cook. Do what you will. Just don't cause them any more suffering.
It hurts!
Rest, Jules. Here's the cheated death. Thank you, stranger. Claude, turn your head if you can hear me.
My Lucian's locks. Stop fidgeting, lad.
You healed me. How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last.
I don't remember much. I barely had time to realize the Magisters were attacking before I was injured. The last thing I saw were these things, these shriekers. Those Magisters are gonna pay in blood for what they did to us.
If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Bring them all back from the brink.
In an instant, my wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you. The Magister flagship. It has ballast that tore our ship into kindling. A shard from our own mast pierced my side. I'm lucky the others managed to haul me all the way here. Especially after I saw what the Magisters did to those of us they captured.
He shudders at the memory.
They turn the living into shriekers. Crucified wretches that unleash pure destruction on anyone who tries to pass. Nobody survives those things. I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it.
We are fortunate indeed to have you.
Serves it. Echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Hold up. I've got to take care of some business. Friend, how does life find you?
Well, I'll be. If it ain't the beast of the sea. Stories of your beard alone fly across Riverland like flocks of crows. Fair a bit more inland than you'd prefer, yeah?
Ain't I know it, ain't I know it.
Beast claps him on the back and chuckles heartily. If they hadn't met just a moment ago, you might think the dwarves lifelong friends.
I don't want to intrude, seeing as how you got your own trials and travails, but I don't suppose you've been to Reaper's Coast of late. Maybe heard of a fella named, what was it? Lohar?
Lohar? Yeah, I know of the guy. From back when I was looking for fishing work out in Driftwood. He's, how shall I say, an entrepreneur. Still out there a bit. Had his stubby fingers and a lot of pies, if you get my meaning.
Sounds like a man I'd buy 2 flagons of mead for. One for drinking and one for toasting. I, got something for him. I'll tell him you sent your regards, Mr.
It's Duggan it is. Oh, and this here's Leia. You gotta be sick of that collar. Leia, you can get it fixed up, yeah?
Sure thing.
Bet you're glad to be rid of it. Amazing to meet the beast in flesh. Let's see if we can get you back to sea. Fighting the good fight, yeah? Your lungs have got to be starved for the salt air.
Beast chortles and nods, then passes you a sly wink. Such a charm bucket.
Smoke and screams. Echoes of death.
You see him coming for you. You saw what he did to the others. You pray, you pray, you pray, you pray. You hardly recognize him, but there he is, Alexander. You're shocked to see a sorcerer's collar around his neck. He seems so different now, compared to how he looked back in school. A sea voyage. Children and adults huddled together for warmth and comfort. You were a slave to the ancient empire not so long ago.
So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
You had a taste for wine and ale, as well as a variety of other sensual pleasures. Life is a coffer replete with countless delights.
Gareth.
Your mind is empty as a new moon. Something seems to have cleared it out, scrubbed the corners, bleached the halls. The nothingness is oddly comfortable. You were a genius maze builder, clear of mind, sharp of wit. You built an invisible staircase, useful to those who may find it.
Maybe we should fortify this place, make a stand. No, we don't have the time.
Hushed, Bonnie Baron,
Think,
now
damn
don't you
it.
cry.
Gareth
The
would
birds
know
are
what to
asleep,
do.
The moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and
Rest your wee head. Maybe we should fortify this place. Make a stand.
A young man in oversized armor paces around a table covered with a spread of maps, his face a tight scowl of frustration.
Every approach blocked. Oh, damn it. What good are battle tactics against those things anyway?
He glances up. In quick succession, he becomes aware of both your presence and the fact that you're not a familiar face.
Who the blazes are you? Losa, eh? On the run from Fort Joy, are you? A seeker can always recognize a sorcerer when they see one.
The birds are asleep. Moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us.
You meant Verdus? Oh, then he's as good as dead. We're the seekers he spoke of. We were supposed to free him. Instead, we've failed him. You, a Godwoken? Surely not. Though if Verdus said so. You could be important, but there's no way to be certain until we've left this blasted island behind us. Verdus was Godwoken. He was a powerful sorcerer, in the vein of Lucian the Divine. He had the potential to succeed Lucian if he mastered his powers. But now that won't happen. If you're the same as Verdus, then we have to get you away from this place. Someone's been killing the few Godwoken that are out here. Likely that dog Alexander. He's a Godwoken too. A failed one as far as I'm concerned. I can imagine he won't want any upstart Godwoken taking what he figures to be his birthright.
The young man anxiously fidgets with his curved bow. You've found a matter close to his heart, evidently.
That's easier said than done, I'm afraid. Much easier said. Yet the Magisters have us cornered. They have these weapons called Shriekers. If we try to go against them unprepared, we're dead. We've lost many already. Seekers, well, we guard the true principles of Lucian. There are sorcerers who can follow in his path and become divine, Godwoken. We seek them out and protect them. Verdus was a Godwoken, our best hope. Our last hope, most likely. We tried to free him, but we failed. Now all we can do is flee. The Shriekers block all escape routes, though. We can't get off this island until we get past them. They were sorcerers once, but after whatever perversions the Magisters subjected them to, they're death incarnate. If they can see you, they can kill you, instantly. After we retreated here, our leader, Sir Gareth, set out looking for some ancient weapons that could counter those things. Then we could break the Magister blockade and escape this island. But he hasn't returned. If Sir Gareth doesn't come back with those weapons in tow, well, this island will be our grave. You'll help us?
His shoulders visibly relax, the weighty armor upon them settling with a clink.
Thank you. Allies are in short supply in this place. If you help us, I promise we'll get you as far away from this place as possible. Please ask. Whatever helps. Sir Gareth? He's the finest seeker I know. I'm honored to serve as his squire. He wouldn't let us down. Not unless something's gone horribly wrong. None. He set out to find those source weapons, and that's the last we saw of him. The masked priestess, Gratiana, told Sir Gareth of them after she granted us shelter here. She was reluctant at first, but, well, Sir Gareth can be very insistent. Speak to her if you wish. She may know more. The Magister flagship, the Lady Vengeance, she's anchored at the old harbour. Once the way is clear, we're to take her and get the hell out of here.